back into the Sean podcast. It's that Big Ush. And then there's the infamous Cat Daddy. Cat Daddy, what's on your mind?
We saw some pretty good games this weekend. We saw some tricks. We saw some treats. And now we're going to talk about how does that shake up our rankings.
Yeah,
so I'm excited for
that.
that.
Goes.
We'll see.
All right. You up first, Cat Daddy?
All right.
Offensive Player of the Year. Anything change?
Slight change, yeah. I have Tom Brady number 1 still. 4 touchdown performance. Took 3 sacks, threw 2 interceptions. But from a purely Offensive Player of the Year standpoint, 4 touchdowns. We're good. Number 2, welcome back, Cooper Kupp. He had 7 catches, 115 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, this was the only game this season that he has not been targeted double digits. And he's already at 10 touchdowns. He's very quickly approaching the 1,000-yard mark. So Cooper Kupp, welcome back. And number 3, I have him on this list. He's not going to be here next week when we talk about this. But I have Derrick Henry staying in the number 3 spot for one final week. He could be out as few as 6 weeks. He could be out as many as 10 weeks. But one thing is for certain. This is the last time he's on my list.
All right. So I already took Derrick Henry off the list. He did deserve to be on it this week, but he's not on it. Cooper Kupp is my new addition. He's number 3. Tom Brady's my number 1. And you guys can come at me all you want. I know he didn't play, but Dak Prescott stays on the list. He didn't do anything not to be on the list. So take that. Anyways, defensive player, anything change?
I got some shakeups. People are the same. The order is different because before I said Trayvon Diggs would stay my number 1 defensive player of the year candidate as long as he was getting interceptions. Well, the trend has been broken. This is the first game of the season where he did not record an interception. So my number 1 is Myles Garrett. He arrives to the game dressed as the Grim Reaper with the names of quarterbacks he's taken down written on his cape. That list already included Ben Roethlisberger, but he got 1 more sack against Big Ben just for good measure. So he's my number 1. Number 2 is TJ Watt.
Who he was playing.
Yeah, who was on the other side of that ball.
Who also got a sack?
Trayvon Diggs is my number 3. I'm not dropping him out completely, but you know how hard it is for a defensive back to win this award.
I've got the same order, same players, same order. I do also predict Trayvon Diggs gets an interception this next game. Next up, Offensive Rookie of the Year.
All right, so Offensive Rookie of the Year, Rookie of the Year stays the same. I have Jamar Chase, number 1. It's pretty slow day at the office. 3 catches, 32 yards, a touchdown. No, touchdowns are always good. Then I have Najee Harris at number 2, who did pretty impressive on the ground, getting 91 yards, 26 carries. Adds another few receptions in the passing game. And number 3 stays Mac Jones because wins matter.
And
he's looking better.
And he played well.
He's looking consistent, which is nice.
Not to be boring, but my list is the same. Let's move on to Defensive Rookie of the Year, where I'm just going to give spoilers. Our lists are, again, the same. But I will be talking about the number 1 player because I can.
You know, it's just a normal day for Micah Parsons. 11 tackles, a few pressures on the quarterback. Just a normal day at the office.
How many tackles for a loss?
How many?
4.
4?
4 tackles for a loss.
Is that it? Man. Odafe stays number 2. I'm not going to penalize him for a bye week. He didn't do anything to lose the position as number 2. He's still been pretty solid for the remainder of the season so far. There we go. And then number 3 is Azeez Ojulari, just because it wasn't his best game, but it wasn't anything to knock him out of the top 3, and there certainly wasn't anybody who could come in and take that spot. Now, I think Pat Surtain is getting close to that, but he's not there yet.
Now, just expand a little bit more on Micah. He had his moment. He had a couple moments in this game where, let's just say, Steve Smith would be saying, "Ice up, son." But it was he showed more than just those plays. Like he made those plays, but the way he made some of those plays, like when Kirk Cousins would drop it off in the flat, and he would close the gap within like seconds. It was wacky. You should not be that big and that fast, and I'm happy he's on my team. All right. Next up, coaches on the hot seat. I'll go first. My number 3 is Matt Nagy. Your team didn't win, but still looked better without you there. You are failing this team. You need to go. That's all I got there. Urban Meyer, your team's bad. And maybe I should give you a pass because, first time guy, but you've got other stuff that have happened and your team's bad. So you need to do a lot of work, bro. And then Joe Judge. Sorry. When you're not doing the main thing that you said you were going to do, it's one thing if your team's losing games. It's another thing if your team's losing games because they're undisciplined and you decide that your training camp was going to treat grown men like children because you were going to be the most disciplined team in the league. Well, you're not. That's a problem. Go ahead, Sean.
My number 1 guy, Matt Nagy. The team lost. Your team made Jimmy Garoppolo look like an all-pro quarterback. I think he may have had more yardage than the entire Bears team did altogether when you factor in rushing yards. But what really kills me about Matt Nagy is Justin Fields played arguably his best game as a pro, and you weren't on the sideline. You weren't calling the play. You didn't have involvement during the game. Now I get it. You may have planned and coordinated with the interim coach, whoever's going to take over for that game.
Sure.
But I don't think Matt Nagy's like, you know what? Let's give Justin Fields 10 rushing plays. Let's call some design rushing plays. I don't think that would have been Matt Nagy's choice. Matt Nagy would have forced Justin Fields to drop back, take the pressure, take hits. But in this game, Justin Fields runs for over 100 yards, making, I forgot who was coaching, but made him look like a genius by actually using his mobility.
Well, actually, believe it or not, there is a thought process out there that Justin Fields said, forget all of y'all, and just did what he wanted to do.
Oh, he did a little Steve Beatman?
Yeah. Anyways, moving on.
On, in the previous NFL episode, I told you that Joe Judge may or may not be on my list of coaches on a hot seat. Spoiler, he was, and this is where he's at. He's number 2 on my list. During the offseason, owner John Mara said everyone is on the hot seat, and I don't think Joe Judge has done anything to get himself off of the hot seat. You have Daniel Jones in a make-or-break year. You have Saquon Barkley, whose career just seems to be in jeopardy as far as injuries go. You have the new shiny toy come to town in Kenny Galladay, and it's just not getting put together. There's a lot going wrong here.
Someone said that. Someone said that was going to be an issue. I don't know who.
I don't know. We'd have to go back to the tape and check on that.
I'm just saying.
And my number 3 guy, because he just can't shake my lists, is Brian Flores. Miami continues to look disappointing. There continues to be no change. And I think that's the frustrating part is you're playing poorly. And we've commented on the offensive playing before, and it continues to play poorly, but there's been no adjustments to it. And here we are. So Brian Flores is number 3 on my list. I don't think that I forgot about Urban Meyer, because really that number 3 spot was, which Florida coach do I want to put on this list? Do I want Urban Meyer to go on that list? Do I want Brian Flores? I have Flores because I think the expectation coming into the season was higher for him. So whenever they lose 7 in a row, it looks far more disappointing.
Right. I got you. All right. let's see. What do we got up next? Oh yeah. Who are your top teams?
Number one team, the this is this is a strange week, right? We had both the Cardinals and the Bucks lose. So my number one team is going to be the Los Angeles Rams because they look good on both sides of the ball. Matthew Stafford on one side, you have the Aaron Donald-led defense on the other side. And do you know who Aaron Donald has coming to town?
Von Miller.
Von Miller, as if Aaron Donald wasn't scary enough, as if Jalen Ramsey wasn't scary enough. Now you add an edge rusher and all of that, a legit edge rusher in Von Miller. Oh man, this Los Angeles Ram team is all in. Number two team is going to be the Dallas Cowboys. The Titans should have been in this spot, but the loss of Derrick Henry has me feeling less than optimistic about their potential moving forward. I have a lot of doubts about that Tennessee offense and the team in general moving forward without Derrick Henry. So Dallas Cowboys get the bump up to number two, and my number three team. And it was hard. It was hard for me to keep the Packers out of the spot because the Packers just beat Arizona. But I need Green Bay to beat Kansas City before they can get into my top three. So for right now, I have what I think is the best team in the AFC, the Buffalo Bills, who look good on both sides of the ball. Not quite as impressive as the Rams do, but they're still pretty good on both sides. And they took care of business against Miami.
All right, mine. My number one, I got the Dallas Cowboys. They went in.
Homer.
2 minutes. Go ahead. Say it. They went into Minnesota, and this is a good Minnesota team. Let's not knock Minnesota now, say that they're bad, and this is a good Minnesota team, and they beat them without their starting quarterback in a different way. The Dallas Cowboys have been scoring points all year long, and this week they're like, we're going to lean on the defense. We're going to ask Cooper just to do so much, even though he did put up 300 yards. So, kudos to my Cowboys. Next up, I got your Green Bay Packers. This was impressive. They went into Arizona, the sole undefeated team, and they beat them without their top three pass catchers, without their defensive coordinator. It is an impressive feat, even though Aaron Rodgers looks like something's like he looked like he got old fast. And then my number three is the LA Rams. This team is loaded from top to bottom. It's just they don't always put it all together. I think sometimes Sean McVay maybe gets too caught up in his own self sometimes, and he doesn't fully put it all together. But this is still a very, very good team with an insane amount of talent. All right, Sean, your bottom teams.
Bottom teams. The first one up is going to be the Houston Texans. They have progressively gotten higher or lower, depending on how you're looking at this, on my list each week, and they finally reached the top of the list or bottom, depending on how you're looking at it. All day today, I was thinking, just complete the fire sale. Use the picks to rebuild. There's no point in keeping any veterans on multi-year deals on your roster because, spoiler, they won't be re-signing with you anyways. So anybody who has value, just trade off, get rid of. That's what I was thinking all day. Team plays poorly. Next up Miami Dolphins. Continue to disappoint me, but not quite as disappointing as the Texans are right now. So they sit at number two. And my number three team is, welcome, the Detroit City Kitties. I don't think I can call them the Lions anymore because they don't play like lions. They play like kittens. This was an embarrassing loss to the Eagles. They should have won that game, and it looked like they weren't even trying. So I avoided having them on my bottom three for the longest time because I'm thinking they're playing hard, and then the light switch just went out this weekend. like, well, we're going to lose. Jared Goff, 4th and 11. Let me just throw it away. Yeah, you're in my bottom 3.
So mine, I got the exact same teams in different orders. So Miami is my worst because you're right. Oh yeah, no. I'm of the belief that Brian Flores shouldn't have as much pressure on him. But you're right. They're playing all these close games and they're not pulling them out. And yes, the offensive game plan is poo-poo. So yes, they are my bottom team. Next up, Detroit. You ain't got no wins. You a bad team. That's just the way it is. I mean, simple mathematics for me there. 0 wins means bottom tier team. And then Houston. You're just bad. I mean, I know there's other things going on. There's drama. There's this. There's that. You guys need to figure something out. And you ain't got the picks to do it. So this is bad. All right. Let's get into these games for the week. Starting the Thursday night game. Jets travel to the Colts. Or travel to Indianapolis, Lucas Oil Stadium to face the Colts. Who you got, Sean? The line is 10.5. No way.
I am not trusting that line. I'm going with Indianapolis to win, but I'm not trusting the line mostly because I don't know whether I can trust Carson Wentz. Am I going to see a quarterback in the end zone who decides to flip the ball to his left hand and throw it out of the end zone to avoid a safety only for it to get intercepted or return for a touchdown? Or am I going to get the guy who throws a couple touchdowns and leads the team in a monsoon? Like, what am I getting here? I think we're going to get the better version of Carson Wentz, but I don't think that 10-point spread. Nah.
All right, so next up, we're going to have my game. The Denver Broncos travel to Arlington, Texas to face those Dallas Cowboys. Line is 9.5. I don't know about that line. I do know Dak Prescott is supposed to play. Cowboys win this game.
Cowboys are winning. Denver just sent arguably their best defensive player. I don't think they were planning on re-signing him anyways in the offseason, so getting rid of him for some picks, probably the best thing to do, but man, it really just leads to a very unenthusiastic defense coming to town against Dallas. Dallas has got this.
All right, next up, we have the Cleveland Browns going across the street, Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. Face those Bengals. The line is 2.5. Who you got, Sean?
I don't know which Cincinnati is showing up. If Cincinnati had not been beat by the Jets, I would be going Cincinnati, and I feel really confident about it. But Cincinnati just allowed Mike White to throw 405 yards on them. And I can't explain how or why it happened. I can't explain how the Jets scored 34 points on them.
I'm gonna go with this. Give you my point of view. First of all, Jets, desperate team. When you ain't got when you bad, just let it all hang out there. Also, I think Cincinnati, kind of a hangover. They had their best win in how many years just the week prior against Baltimore. I think they get their heads in the game. I think they win this game. Also,
I will agree. I'll agree with the Cincinnati win.
Who's Baker's throwing to?
Certainly not Odell Beckham Jr.
All right. Now next up, we got your favorite game of the week.
I've been dreading this one the whole time. I've been dreading this.
We got the Houston Texans traveling to Miami to face the Miami Dolphins. Sean, who do you got? They got Miami favored by 6.5.
I don't want anything to do with the spread. I'm going for Miami with a straight-up win. I'm giving them the advantage because they are at home.
I do think Miami wins also.
But it's not going to be pretty, and I'm going to do my best to avoid this game.
All right, next up, another avoidable game. We've got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to the Caesars Superdome to face those Saints. Line 6. In favor of the Saints.
Mm-mm. I'm going with the Saints to win.
I'm
Granted,
going with the Saints also.
I have no idea who's going to be quarterback, so I want nothing to do with that spread either. Is it going to be Taysom Hill? Is it going to be Trevor Siemian?
Maybe they just think the defense is just going to rock and roll.
I mean, it's been looking pretty good this year when what you can do is just have Alvin Kamara line up in the Wildcat.
All right. No, yeah, just have Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram just line up back there. All right, next up, we have the Raiders traveling to East Rutherford to face the Giants. Las Vegas is favored by 2.5. Now, I think that line too low, personally.
I think Vegas will come into New York. I think they will beat the Giants, and I think it'll be more than 2.5. I think they'll cover.
Exactly. All right, next up, New England Patriots traveling to Carolina. Revenge game. The line is 4. Who you got in favor of New England?
Ooh, that's pretty good since New England's a visiting team. Wow. I do have New England winning. Sam Darnold just has not looked like the new and improved version of Sam Darnold.
No, he fell off a cliff.
And I think we're going to see the Sam Darnold that saw ghosts. And he's going to see more of them against Bill Belichick.
All right, next up, we have the Buffalo Bills traveling down to Jacksonville to face those Jaguars. The line is 14.5, and it is not large enough.
I got Buffalo winning. I don't know if it's 14.5 winning, because if it's anything like the Rams game this week where they went up 38 and they just gave up in the fourth quarter, Houston scores 22 points. Like, that's what I'm afraid of.
This is Jacksonville, not Houston.
Either way, I have Buffalo winning. I don't know how I feel about that spread.
Oh, I think they're gonna break that spread.
You're smashing it. Yep. Take it. Yeah.
All right, so we got Minnesota traveling to Baltimore. Face those Ravens. 5.5 is the spread.
Ooh. I like Baltimore winning. I think I could be okay with that spread.
I got Baltimore covering the spread. They let Cooper Rush get 4 points on them. No, more than 4. No, 4 points. 4 points. All right, next up, we have the Chargers traveling to Philly. Oh, this spread is nonsense. Chargers have how far the Chargers have fallen. The spread is 1.5 in favor of the Chargers. So no spread at all.
Take it.
Yeah. Hands down, just like run that to the bank.
Yeah, Philadelphia's not playing Detroit this week. Yeah.
All right, next up, we have the Cardinals traveling to Santa Clara. Face those 49ers. Even. What? Even.
The loss to the Packers wasn't that bad.
Well, I mean, it's rumored to say that Kyler's injured, but still, I'm smashed Arizona on that.
I'm going Arizona for that one too.
All right. Game that oh my God, that game too. Packers traveling to Kansas City to face the Chiefs. Even.
I went against Green Bay last week.
Don't do it.
And it's the discount double check bowl here. Rodgers, Mahomes. Green Bay is going to get some people back. I'm going Green Bay.
All right. And then, all right. We have the Sunday night game. I'm also going Green Bay. The Sunday night game, we have the Titans traveling to LA to face the Rams. Line is 7.5 for the Rams.
I think I'd be okay with that. Tennessee may or may not be able to run the ball.
I'm taking the Rams.
I'm taking Rams. Yeah.
We'll see what Adrian Peterson has left. Next up, the Monday night game. We have the Bears traveling to Pittsburgh to face the Steelers, 6.5.
Ooh. I like Pittsburgh winning. I don't know how I feel about 6.5 though.
I got Pittsburgh winning also. All right, so Sean, real quick, just throw something at you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the game that you can get the lowest price ticket for? Is no looking up.
No. Is it going to be the Miami-Houston game?
Yes. Guess what the ticket is?
How much?
$15.
Sounds about right.
Guess what game has the highest ticket?
Ooh, highest. Let's see who we
Highest
got.
minimum
this
ticket.
week. Green Bay, Kansas City.
Yep. Guess what it is?
More than 15.
Oh, it's way more than 15. 211.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a disparity. All right. Well, that's all she wrote for this week, folks. Sean, any words of wisdom?
No, I'm going to blank on this one. Sorry, I got nothing.
My one. All right. When making these bets, Vegas has no clue what they're doing at the moment, so this is the time to bet. That's my words of wisdom. Make your bets now.